Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Transformers crossover. This is the 30th anniversary Jurassic Park twin pack of Dilophocon and Autobot JP 12. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to unbox it in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We're going to have a detailed look at both of these figures in both of their modes to see how well they display. We will of course bring in the other Jurassic Park crossover figures to see how they look with them as well. To give you an idea, I suppose, of scale and size, I'll bring in some of the other figures that have been released this year, and indeed some original figures as well from the G1 line, and indeed some new age figures, just to give you an idea of the scale and size of these figures. So as I start to pop all these away, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to this channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now please. And also I need to thank Hasbro Pulse, because that's who I purchased this from, and as you can see they got them out to me nice and quickly. So, quick apologies for the glare there. Let's have a look at the entire contents then. So yeah, this is reflecting, the box is beautiful. In fact, we need to see the box properly. So this actually looks like, I suppose, images from the movie, shall we say, whereas obviously on the back you've got images of the actual products. Now the funny thing is, obviously this guy's supposed to be Dennis Nedry, and of course there, I suppose, is his nemesis, again from pretty much the same scene on the film. Now I've got to confess, these are my favorite type of crossovers already. I didn't buy any of the Star Wars ones or the Marvel ones, but I do really like the idea of these. I love the fact they've got that little DNA strand on the inside. Now I've not seen anything to do with these figures yet, only images, no videos, so I've got no idea what to expect inside here, and I had no idea that it was packaged like this. So, oh wow, that's really cool. Look, it's the scene. It's literally the scene. There's the shipping crate from the dock. There is of course the Jeep. There's the hill that he falls down, and of course unfortunately meets his foe and his doom there. But I wasn't expecting that at all. How does this come off? Oh, I can't take it off without messing around with it. What I'm going to do then, guys, I'm going to take this off, get them loose and free, and we can have a better look at these. Right then, so I've literally just managed to get rid of most of the cardboard, and I'm pretty sure, well, hopefully you could tell in that last section of the video, I was just blown away by this. And silly little things like this, they just mean loads to me. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be packaged like that at all. This is of course the exact same scene of what of course these two characters are from. I know obviously they did it with the T-Rex stomping on of course the JP car in the first one, but this one just, I suppose, because it's all covered up, it just surprised me so much, whereas obviously the original one had the clear window. And the other little thing that's a really nice touch is that the box that was up there, it looks like all of the accessories are in fact in here as well. And funnily enough, just need to show you this as well. Look, it's Autobot logoed wrapping paper. So this what was wrapped around Dilophocon's head, so it does obviously look like we're going to be attaching these there. Is that the right way around? Let's have a quick look. Sometimes, as I say, I do perhaps think maybe I should do a bit of research into these, but the main reason why I do like to do these, and I always get really good feedback from people, is the fact that exactly this, it is genuinely my first impression of it. I've not seen these, only in pictures before. Is that too high? Yeah, I did have it the right way around. So sometimes I make mistakes, sometimes I go off the cuff like this, but that looks stunning. Let's move that out of the way. Oh, let's pop him there for a second, and let's of course get out the rest of the accessories. So yeah, completely wasn't expecting this. It does look great, and I am going to be, I can imagine myself actually, you know, only displaying these, excuse the noise, in these alternate modes, which for me is something completely that I just don't do. So there of course is the DNA can, got a lovely Autobot logo on it as well there. Can you make that out? Yep, just about. And all the rest of the accessories are there, including the hat. But now definitely going to shift these out of the way, because we need to look at the figures and we need to get rid of the glare as well. So I think I might get rid of this. Oh no, that's okay there. Right, let's have a look at the actual figures themselves. So whilst they're in the alternate mode, we'll start with Dilophocon. Let's stand him up and Wow, yeah, looks really good. I mean, there's lots of articulation on here by the looks of it. Yep, the neck and the head will look up and down. The mouth, of course, will open. The arms, they're on their own little hinges there, so they do move up and down. Now, obviously, you can pretty much tell that there's a robot hidden under there, but from the side, it's not too bad. Everything's covered up really well from the side. Obviously just on the underside, you get this with vehicles though, you know, from the underside you look underneath, sometimes you get visible head syndrome or something. Let's have a look. So the thigh, yes, so the top part of the leg moves, the knee moves as well, there is movement at the ankle. Does the tail move? It moves a little bit. Yeah, you've got movement at the bottom of the tail. The detail obviously there on the fan is fantastic. The detail on the head, to be honest, is fantastic. And again, consider we know that this is going to turn into a robot. It's a very, very good dinosaur. All right, let's move him completely out of the way just in case, and let's have a look at JP12 or Dennis Nedry, whatever we want to refer to him as. Right, now I've already read that you can store some of the things, I think, underneath here, so we'll have a look at that in a second. He also has visible head syndrome. The Jeep looks amazing. Look at that logo, it's perfect. The red wheels with the black tires, which is great. Number 12 on the side, lovely translucent blue windows and headlights. Everything, what's that say, JP12 as well, fantastic. Really impressed with how this looks. It's quite a small figure. I suppose it would be classed as a deluxe, but if you put it up next to Dragstrip, he's tiny in length, but of course he's that little bit taller, so I suppose, yeah, he's definitely at a deluxe sort of size. Another one I've got sort of to hand is this. It'll be interesting to see how big he is when we do in fact transform him up. One thing I want to very quickly do though is just show you this. New Age also released, I suppose, a version of this again, but with these they just use the hound mold. This looks to be a completely new mold, so can't wait to get him into robot mode. Let's just move him out of the way and then we can see how we can attach all of the parts to the Jeep. Right then, so I've just very quickly consulted the instructions, and I'm really pleased that I have, because obviously I need to show you how we can store these in vehicle mode. One other thing I wanted to show you as well, which I thought was brilliant, this actually does come out of the bottom, and you can pretty much make out on there the individual chambers, and this looks very similar, if not as accurate as it can be for a translucent bit of plastic, to how it appeared in the movie. So there we go. This does of course fit into the bottom of the can like so, and this will fit into that clip there on the underside. Now I've had a look and I can't find anywhere at all where you can store the hat, but unfortunately it just doesn't seem to go anywhere. You can force it in, but it does come out. I mean, that's the best I've managed to do. And of course you can put the gun into the hole there on the front bumper. So that's pretty much all of his things there. And this of course is the spit from the Dilophocon, so we can open up the mouth and we can attach this via that tiny little port there. We can pop that in his mouth. So there we go, we've got, and look how much bigger this figure is. I suppose this one, when fully standing up, might be about the size of a Voyager, but we will have a look in a second. That is huge. Look at that compared to the size of that. While we've got these here though, I'm going to bring in the T-Rex as well, of course, from the first set. Obviously this was a leader class figure, so it's much bigger, and again this was I suppose a deluxe as well, so it is interesting. Oh no, see, it doesn't stay. It was worth a try. It was worth a try, but it's much smaller than of course the larger vehicle here. Right, there we go. I think I've covered every single thing there is to say about them being in their alternate modes. They do look really good. I'm probably going to keep them in their alternate modes, to be fair, but obviously for the video I've got to show you them in their robots, so let's have a look at them in their robot mode. Okay then guys, we're back, and as you can see they're already in their robot mode, so a quick apologies for no transformation process in this video. Main reason for that is to keep the length of the video down, and the other is not to spoil it for people who don't want it spoiling. However, as you've probably seen, I've uploaded 2 tutorials so you could see how they transform if you want to, and if you don't want to see it, you don't have to. So we'll start off with JP12, to be honest, and again I can fully confirm that these are both brand new molds, due to the fact that they were quite they were fun to transform, a bit taxing because again they're just new, and of course the stiff joints on it. The figure itself though is, as I thought, quite a small figure, especially with regards to some of the other deluxe ones that we've had recently. I mean, even we know the Hound mold can be quite small, but as you can see, he's smaller than that, but he's not as small as the Netflix Bumblebee figure. With regards though to, I suppose, some other figures that have been released very much about the same time, completely different toy lines, as you'd expect, much smaller than a Voyager, which again you'd expect that. And of course I don't even think Dreadwing's going to fit on screen, but he's just up to about the waist of a leader class figure. But with regards, I suppose, to some other figures, here we go. We've got core class Optimus, which of course he towers over, and I've got a New Age Prime. He's just a bit bigger than a New Age take on Optimus Prime, but that gives you an idea of how tall he is. Let's have a look at him in a bit of detail. So we've got a really nice head sculpt, to be honest. It's a robotic Dennis Nedry, definitely it is. This is really stiff, but again, it could be because it's brand new. There's full articulation, it spins round. It also looks that you can have this either way you want to be honest. It looks like you can put that behind. It doesn't look like there's a complete set way. All you need to do though, if you want to put the head on, see we've got these little tabs there, sorry, the hat on, and then these will fit over there, like so, and it will sit, he says. It can't be that hard surely. Oops, look what I'm doing. Oh well. Right, let's push that on. There we go. Now it's gone on, and I can just reattach this via them tabs there as well. So there he is with his hat on. Now there's a few things that you can do with his accessories. We'll have a look at the rest of the articulation in a second. We can take the shaving foam, we can split this, and if you wanted to, you could put that in one hand, you could put this in the other, and then if you wanted to, you could still keep the gun in the bumper. You could either put the gun in a hand as well, or of course you can complete this putting them back together. And if we just copy, I suppose, that image that is on the back of the box, we can put the shaving foam in the one hand like so, and indeed his gun in the other. Now the good thing about this is there is a wrist swivel for the gun, there is shoulder articulation all the way out to the sides. They will go around as well, as long as they're not hindered by that, so they'd have to spin out to the side to go fully around, if you see what I mean. It is a ball and socket though. There is swivel underneath it, there is a bicep flexion. There is not a waist swivel. I don't think there is, actually, looking at that. I just remember the transformation, and as you can see, there is definitely not a waist swivel. There's a bit of a gap there, which you can see. I'm pretty adamant I've transformed it correctly anyway, but you can see that there is a gap there. These are covered to some aspect by the arms, but funnily enough, again, this is just definitely reconfirming what I said in the first part of the video, that I'm actually going to be displaying these in alternate modes. The legs themselves though, the hips will come out to the side, go to the front. This is like a bit of a skirt, so it can kick it up even higher. There is of course a knee bend, and there's an ankle tilt and rock as well. So I know that some people don't like gaps, and there's quite a few on this, but again, I'm not using it as a get out of jail. I'm going to be displaying this in alternate mode anyway. I think if you want to as well, on the back of this, yes, you see you've got these ports, so you could, if you wanted, you could store pretty much everything from here on the back of the doors as well. So you've got the door there, you can hide that in. You could also of course put some ports, add additional weapons to it if you wanted to. There's quite a few things you can do, to be honest, and again, it does look good. It looks very good from the front. It is just a shame, if we're being very picky, about the gaps at the sides, but they're covered up. They're not visible from the front. They say they're covered up. The arm attempts to cover it up. This again is going to come into play in a second. Just thinking of any more quick comparisons for you. Generation 1 figures, just to give you an idea. There you go. So he's not the biggest, but he looks very, very good. Right, let's move him completely out of the way for now. Oh, knocked over one, and let's bring in Dilophocon. Funny enough, that's who I've just knocked over. Now, again, 100% new mold, very, very intricate and fun to transform, to be honest. I also realized there was something I didn't show you in the alternate mode, what you can do is he's got a lever there, see, to adjust the mouth. So obviously this is more for the alternate mode, but I just wanted to show you it because I didn't in the first place. Highly articulate though. Look, you've got these shoulders which will swing. You've then got the additional part here where this will come out as well. You can see that there. And it's on a ball and socket. The ball and socket is on the bicep. There's no wrist swivel, unfortunately. You can see it's just molded on. There isn't, again, another waist swivel on this. It is all one piece. However, the hips will go all the way up, kick right up, come all the way back, and indeed pretty much out to the side, but you can turn them inside out-ish, turn them into the splits. You've got a knee bend, you've got ankle tilt and rock because it's on a ball and socket as well. The head itself will spin around, and you could also, if you want to, which I'm going to show you in a second, you can take the tail off as well, because at the moment with his accessory there's nothing you can really do with it, not much at all. You can then take, this is tabbed in via the back, you can then separate this here. It's quite stiff, but once you pull that off you can still tuck that up. It doesn't really take anything away from the figure at all, to be honest. Just getting him to stand up again, because it looks like he's got some high heels on. He is quite awkward. This is the tail. This can double up as a weapon, so you can use it either like that, but it doesn't look very, very menacing. However, when you take this, and I'm just going to make sure I spin it the right way around, there we go, spin that around, there is a little hole at the top. Put the spit venom in there, and of course there's your 5mm peg. And indeed now there is, oh, I've knocked the spit venom out. In the image you can see there, but in the background it doesn't have the spit on it, it just has that. And yeah, you can move these backwards and forwards if you really wanted to. I don't think it really needs it, to be honest, but there he is displayed in his robot mode. I think this displays a little better actually than the Jeep in robot mode. I'm sure you'll agree, but as I've already said, not going to be leaving him like this. With regards to his size, he's not, in fact, from the alternate mode, which is huge, he's only just taller than Nedry in his robot mode. I've got a few figures here. Again, as you can see, they're much bigger than core class. They are definitely about a deluxe class sort of figure. So it's weird, because I thought that Dilophocon was probably going to be like a Voyager, especially with the alternate mode, but this definitely confirms. I suppose if you're talking size classes, it's not going to be much bigger than a deluxe. It can't be, because if Hound's bigger than them, they can't be that big at all, really, can they? And indeed, just because I've got one to hand, I've got a really old Warrior class figure from 2015, which is the same size as well. But I think that's enough said about these. They've really surprised me. The backdrop surprised me the most. I think it's a great scene to set up. And yeah, I'm going to be displaying them in their alternate modes. Pretty sure I've covered everything in these guys. Let me know what you think of them. I think they're fantastic. I really like these crossovers, and here's to many more. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Take care.